There we go. Howdy, howdy, howdy. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. This lighting never wants to work. Hold up. Hold up. See if a little overhead light changes things up a bit. It looks to be, yeah. Yeah, it's not perfect. It never really is, but not too shabby. Oh, I still have all of my cleaning stuff back here. Oops. Pretend that's not there, y'all. See, now I'm all washed out. I never know what to do with these damn lights. I never know what to do with these lights. Howdy, Shelly. I promise I had a really good show ready today. God, none of these lights work. I don't know what to do. But I'm actually a little frustrated with my editor today. I wish I had a little more computer skills, a couple better tech skills per se. Cause yeah, I can't make a thumbnail very well, and I've been waiting on a thumbnail for 13 hours. So I was ready this morning. I was all gung ho and ready for you, but I've been waiting on a thumbnail for 13 hours. Yeah, what is it, like 1:40 over there? We're just hanging out. I'm turning this into a hangout stream. Tomorrow will be like, I might go for an hour and do a hangout, but I have the herbs to stuff a cone again. There we go. The Blazy Susan's over here. I also brought a margarita to pour into a nice little, I think a Rebel Alliance drink, or is that Resistance? I think that's the Resistance. I had a couple friends move away, so I got a bunch of their stuff, and now 12:40. That's not too bad. Oh, 3 hours ahead. It's 9:40. Math. I knew that. Just not the best math person at all the time, you know. Yeah. But we're pouring a little marguerite up into this Star Wars glass. I don't think it's gonna fill half of it, but we'll see. We'll see. We will see. I'm taking it easy on this Friday evening because yesterday I went a little hard. The day before, well, no, not yesterday. I guess the day before, like I told you, I think the stragglers left at 3:50 in the morning at my house on Wednesday. Whew! So that's why Theater Thursday, of course, yesterday didn't happen, and it ended up being another smoke stream. And now today, I wanted to get back to normal program and scheduling, but of course, just wait on a thumbnail, and I can do them without the thumbnails, of course, but it's a lot less likely to be clicked on. No matter how much effort you put into it, it tends to just not get even what you kind of hope for back. Not even what you want, of course, but what you hope for back. So, and I'm not expecting much, but if it's diminished as much as it does, just in that kind of way, I'm like, well, screw it. If we're gonna do something without a thumbnail, I might as well put a little herb into it. I might as well put a little Mary Jane into it, because we're Mary Jane over here on this channel. But we're adding margarita to the M's today. What have you been up to, Shelly? Though, anything much? You're back in Canada right now, right? If I remember correctly, from what I follow on the Facebooks. I'm gonna grab this Blazy Susan and start stuffing. Ooh. But yeah. So yeah, tomorrow will be a hangout day. I think I'm gonna try to do it more in the daytime because I do have a play that I am producing. We have a performance tomorrow night. Well, I guess we have a performance. I am producing, so I guess it counts as a we, but it is mostly Melissa, who is doing a one woman show technically, and she's excellent. I think I told you all like the other day. And Thursday's performance yesterday went really, really well. We went afterwards. We went out afterwards. It was a good little time. Then I went and saw Transformers. It was a great day. And of course, y'all were with me right before I went to Transformers, and that was a lot of fun. Made Transformers even more fun, especially in 4DX like that. 28 days over 3 states, and got back the 23rd. Okay, you haven't been back for a couple days. It's almost 2 weeks. That is 2 weeks. Math, I told you, not my best topic ever, but I like math nonetheless when it's necessary. But 28 days, that's a damn good trip. I don't know if I've been out of the country for 28 days, you know? And I know you came from Canada to the US, so technically you're out of the country. Not really, but yeah, really at the same time. Uh yeah. I know you went to one of the Carolinas, and then you were in Texas for a bit, right? And then oh, I just gotta think about Facebook. Hold up, I got you. Was it a little more northeast, right, or was it more east? North and South Carolina and Ohio. Didn't you go to Texas for a second though? I don't know why I remember that. I thought you went to Texas for like just a brief moment. Maybe that was a different trip or something. I'm not sure. But the Carolinas and Ohio, that's great. I've been to both Carolinas, but Ohio is one of I think the 9 or 10 or 11 remaining states that I still have. I don't exactly remember. Next is Texas and California. You were in Texas in 2008. Oh dang, yeah, a lot's changed since then. Better and worse, you know. Texas has grown a bunch, literally a lot, like people wise, of course. If we were growing back landmass wise, it'd be going back in the Republic of Texas, which would be kind of cool. But I'm biased, of course, because I'm a Texan to the core. I might be living out in old California, but I'm Texan. I'll I'll claim the Californians every now and then because I like movies, but yeah, people. I mean, yeah, good people live in Texas, so it's good you got people all over Texas. But good people live everywhere, you know. I'm glad you enjoyed your 28 days in the states because we're crazy down here, but we're fun. We're fun in the old U.S. of A. Um, I really do want to go to Ohio. There's just not like a whole bunch to go see. I feel like I'd have to go to a couple different cities, but then I kind of want to do some like exploring out there. Yes, the UK. I want to go to the UK so bad. The only place in Europe I've ever been. I've been lucky to travel in my life, and I've been to a lot of places. I've been to Africa. I've been to Qatar, and I went to Italy for the first time last year. But I've never been anywhere else outside of Italy in Europe. I want to go everywhere in Europe so bad, so bad. And the UK is like definitely one of the big prominent spots because I grew up watching. I've been to Canada, yes. Briefly, I almost got arrested when I entered because I was making fun of some of the. I was a little more political back then. The lady at the border was not very happy with me. She was like, "I'll search your car and I'll put you in the handcuffs and bring you to the station right now." My dad was like, "You shut the hell up, son, and you just let me talk." All right, fine. But no, I really love Canada. I went to Glacier National Park. We had like a big family trip. We went to Glacier National Park, and then I think we went. We stayed in two different towns in Montana, and then we went to Canada and we stayed in Banff. We were briefly in Vancouver, I believe, and then we were in BC and we were in Alberta. And we went to a couple different places. We were driving a whole bunch. We just had a rental car and we were just going for it, you know. Oh, it was so beautiful. I can't think of the one place. The Prince of Wales. We were at that place. Uh, Ontario. I haven't been to Ontario. My parents went to Ontario for one of their wedding anniversaries, and then they took a train all the way to like Halifax, Nova Scotia area, and I really want to go visit there and do some more exploring. You know, I want to go everywhere. I kind of want to go to Quebec too. Just I know that's a. What do you feel about Quebec, Shelley? I know it's kind of like anti-Canada and super Canada all at the same time. Oh, Nova Scotia looks and sounds like just a cool place, you know. It's definitely a place I want to visit. And since I'm from 20 minutes from Louisiana and there's a bunch of Creole, Cajun kind of stuff down there, it's definitely not the same. But a little more like North American French with all the Quebec stuff. I'm intrigued to visit over there. I don't know if they'll like me at all because I'm not even Louisianian. I'm just close to Louisiana and was raised amongst all the culture of that kind of area. I don't know. Quebec's always interesting. I never really know what to think about it, but it just seems like an interesting place to visit. It's like it's both simultaneously the place I want to go to the most in Canada and the place I want to go to the least. I'm the most intrigued by it, but also like I feel like it's the most city. I feel like it's the most like populous, if that makes sense. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because obviously you know better than I do. Uh, but it seems like a really interesting place, you know. Um, but I really like British Columbia. I love Newfoundland. I want to go to Newfoundland. Yeah, that's my parents have been there, and they said that was really cool. Um, I just I guess all the people that I know that have been to Canada don't ever go to the interesting places. They go to Vancouver or Toronto. You know, I haven't been to Toronto either. I'd like to go to Toronto. I don't. I'm not a huge like. I do like to go see big cities because I did literally do a stream on Sidetrack from Rome, but you know. Oh, your dad's from Newfoundland. It just that place seems gorgeous. I'd love just to go and explore. I'm a big hiker and adventurer, and I'll go backpack 12, 14 days in the backwoods, and you know use a little GPS and a map. That's all you need to kind of maneuver and navigate. Most people in my generation would be scared shitless for a lack of lack of a better term there. They people just don't know how to navigate, and still I'm bad about it myself. I live in LA, so half the time I'm going anywhere, I am using like Waze or Google to navigate. But I just love big, wide open country and being able to just explore. Um, and Canada does have a lot of that. My favorite two places I think I've ever been, and I say they're favorite because it's just like life altering, changing. Like it gave you a new outlook and perspective on life going there. Was Africa. Surprise. It is the wild frontier, but there is only one place with more wild frontier than that, and that's Alaska slash like northern Canada area, or I guess even BC, even the way. And I'd love to go and explore more BC and more Alaska and just that general left hand side of Canada and the northern aspect. But there's still so much like Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, and everything over to the right, and then Quebec and all that in the center. I don't know. I just want to explore everywhere. Um, but there's definitely places I guess that top my list over others. I was a big. I haven't watched it in years. It's not the thing that I go back to because It's Always Sunny is the comedy that I always go back to. And of course, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia pretends like it's in Philadelphia, but it's literally filmed within a 15 block radius of where I live right now in Van Nuys. So a little California, a little Hollywood magic there. But Oh, Trailer Park Boys. I love Trailer Park Boys. It gets a bad rap and it is raunchy, but it's just so funny. And it's legitimately well written and improvised by the three main actors who embody those characters so freaking well. Because all three people are very different than their actual characters in real life, but they can literally just turn on a dime and then just become Ricky Bubbles or Julian. So great. Bring me some bubbles. I love me some freaking bubbles, man. Bro, just I I just love the little like things that pop in your brain from bubbles and kitties and all the as everything he does is great. Ricky's hilarious himself, and then Julian literally can flip a car over and still be holding a glass upright. That show is just it's something magic. It should be in the conversation for one of the best comedies of all time. It's not for a lot of people, I guess, just because of what it is. But like, come on, y'all, because it's great. I'll send you a video of where I grew up, voted in the top 5 tourist places by National Geographic. Don't give me an excuse. I'll come say howdy in the summer. When it's already the summer, I'll come say howdy in a month. Watch out. No, but just talking about saying howdy real quick. Yeah, give me an excuse to come out to Canada. I'll come pop in after a little exploring or something. But I'm so excited for. I think Aaron's going to come out here too. So chilling in the basement, of course, and then of course, Matt and Jamie and Stormy isn't always too far away, so he's gonna try to make it. But frickin' San Diego Comic-Con next year is gonna be great. Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, no, San Diego Comic-Con, because Jamie's like, we're all going, we're side-trekking it up. You know, we're all gonna be. This is a Den of Nerds thing. I don't know if you know Den of Nerds, but just a channel I've watched for a long time. They're really good at. Actually, they're probably the channel that got me into just paying attention to like rumors and the things that aren't necessarily like 100% certain for the film industry, because a lot of the time they tend to be pretty certain. It's just you know something 8, 9, 10 months that's before it happens a lot of the time. And I am I forget what study it is. I like to quote it whenever people are like, I don't like to be spoiled at all. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand that, but like anticipation is proven to be a more rewarding and rewarded thing in our like nervous system than like a surprise is. So I don't know. I'm always for watching trailers. I know people are like, I don't want to watch a trailer. I just want to go into a movie and not know anything about it. Oh wait, I'm lighting a joint right now, and I just did my cool little thing. If you can't see the little hat falling off, if you remember from last Saturday, there's the hat. Got it. But all right, let's light this puppy. I think I got a little This is the Syndicate brand, and this is an apple fritter with a very stoned apple on the front of it, looking very happy. And my goal is to look like that apple in the next about 10, 12 minutes here. So I was trying to come up with a good alliteration from like sour apple, stoned apple, or something, and it wasn't happening. If I gave myself a couple more seconds, I would have. Nose itches. 1 second. It's all the smoke everywhere. Here's the stoned apple. I'll take it. That's what they call me when I go to New York City, which has only ever been once, and I don't really have the desire to go back. Honestly, I might this year, but we got it all around. I think so, and I accidentally just blew the lighter out, so that works. You should be good. And we're off to the races. I don't know why. My nose is scratching and itchy. Haven't been doing anything like that, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's the hemp wick. I don't know. But Lordy, okay. I know you weren't excited about Transformers, but what if I told you Transformers was actually great and I had a really good time in the movie? Well, it's not great in the sense of like a great movie, but it's actually really well directed. That does not mean it translates to an amazing film, but it was well directed by Stephen Cable Jr. Still had a really good time with it, though. I thought it was a really fun film. I don't like to say, oh, well, it was a fun film, because then people are like, okay, so it was really bad, and it was just kind of a dumb good time. And yes. But there is a good movie inside of it all. It's just a very generic movie. And I still think it worked. I think I've said it before. A lot of people my age, a lot of my era, my generation, they love Pete Davidson, and there are times where I think that motherfucker is funny, but not most of the time. So I was kind of worried about him being the main Autobot, like instead of Bumblebee in this one. And Bumblebee's still in a good portion. Bumblebee actually might have the best individual role in the film, just like what he does per capita. Yeah, great. But I think this is Pete Davidson's best film. I have not seen King of Staten Island, so that's supposed to be like his more touristic film. Um, I don't know if it is or not. I've heard mixed things about it, mostly good things though. Um, but I'm, I don't think I can think of another film that I would say would be the best Pete Davidson film. I guess I don't watch a whole bunch of Pete Davidson films either. The last one I can even think about him being in was Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. And I predicted that movie in the first 3 minutes because of Pete Davidson. And then I had myself convinced that, oh, what I thought was happening wasn't happening. And then it did. And I was so pissed off. That movie pissed me off so much, so much. It was still like it had really good stuff in it, but like you could, if you've ever watched Pete Davidson in anything, you could have guessed what happened. And I mean, that's all I got to say about that. You know, I think Lee Pace was criminally underused in that movie, but was obviously the best part, like per capita again. A couple of the actresses in there were awesome too, though. Yeah. I would legit say Transformers is Pete Davidson's best film, and he's the voice actor in it, which is kind of cool. And he's voice acting alongside like the greats, like Peter Cullen, the guy that does Optimus Prime. I mean, Ron Perlman's in there as Optimus Primal. I believe Michelle Yeoh was Air Razor, one of the Maximals. That's like a raven. You know, uh, he does a great job. And Anthony Ramos, the guy that plays the human in the movie, does the best. This is gonna be spoilers, so anybody that's coming in here late, avoid. This is your warning for spoilers. But the ending of Transformers, I almost said G.I. Joe. The ending of Transformers, where they introduce G.I. Joe stuff, was awesome. It was subtle. It needed to be done a decade ago, and we finally got it. And that's one of the reasons why I think this movie was a really well directed film. There's not very many films where it's like that was well directed, but not the best movie. It wasn't the best movie because it was just a pretty lackluster plot. Just it wasn't anything special or new. But just well directed, English, well directed in the sense of like what Stephen Caple Jr. was able to do with what he had and what was given and what he provided was just, makes my heart happy. Just me and spoilers make no difference. Exactly. And really, that might be a spoiler that makes you kind of go, well, maybe I should go watch it. Like, there's Transformers and GI Joe in the same like world now, which makes me happy. There was an old I think not rumor conspiracy whatever that John Cena's character from the Bumblebee movie was going to be one of the characters. I forget which one, but one of the characters from like the '80s GI Joe show. I think it was technically debunked by one of the people, but at the same time, now that they're in the same world, why not? And if he's not that character, why not have that character that John Cena played meet that guy? You know, might as well. I mean, it was. I think Bumblebee was great. This was, I think, my second favorite. I think I like it more than the original Transformers. Maybe. I need to go see it again, and then I need to watch Transformers again. But it's either my second or my third favorite Transformers movie, easily, and I really enjoyed it. I will be buying tickets for the sequel the second I can, and same thing with GI Joe. How can 80s nostalgia? That's how. I don't know. Yeah, I know. Transformers GI Joe is not really your thing. But if they added Muppets, which honestly, like, I feel like there's a way they can make that work. I would not be the person to do it, but I feel like there's a way to make it work. Uh, yeah, no, it was still fun though. I was surprised. I was almost shocked, you know, but in a very good way. The whole audience, the whole theater was really ecstatic about it. It was a really cool moment. It was one of those theater moments where you're like, this is nice. Which you don't necessarily expect in a Transformers movie. You expect the ooh and the ah. A G.I. Joe Gonzo would actually be great. Oh my god, what's the Muppet movie? Oh, it either came out just a little bit before I was born or like I was really little. So it was either like mid 90s or early 2000s in that like decade time span. It's the one with Gonzo is like really prominent in it. But it's got what's his name? A little heavier set of a dude, bald, talks kind of slow, plays an agent, always wears a suit. I can't think of the actor's name. He stars alongside. I can't even think of the bear's name from the Muppets either. But they're both like agents together. It's so funny. I just can't remember what it's called. I love it. That's my favorite Muppet. I think Gonzo, and that's my favorite Muppet movie as well. But Gonzo and GI Joe. He's an alien, right? It works. It works by technicality. Come on. This is Hasbro and Jim Henson. Y'all work together and bring Shelley and I. Fozzie Bear. I wanted to say Fonzie Bear, but I knew it wasn't that. Fozzie Bear. There we go. It's Fozzie Bear, and I can't think of. Jeffrey Tambor? Jeffrey Tambor? I think that's the guy's name. Yeah! Jeffrey Tambor and Fozzie Bear. Which Muppet movie? Jeffrey Tambor Muppet movie. Muppets from Space, 99. Literally the year I was born. I was on the money. I was in the general realm perfectly. It just took me a second to get there. But no, the Muppets from Space is my favorite. That's probably one of the reasons I love sci-fi as much as I do. Like literally space from every direction. I was just gonna say that one. Yeah. Muppets from frickin' Space was great. That film raised me in a lot of ways. Jeffrey Tambor, Fozzie Bear, Gonzo, and yeah. I like all the Muppets movies, but Muppets from Space, that one's whole that just like it's ingrained in my memory almost as much as like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars or something like that, you know. Maybe not that much, but right up next to it, like legit. What's who's the little, I don't know what he is. He's like the little pink reddish like humanoid with a little crazy hair. Or maybe I'm thinking the rat's in the movie. Who's the rat? Muppets. I'm just gonna here. Actually, I have my phone in front of me. They get arrested. Yeah. I just have to look up Muppets from Space just to look up pictures on IMDb real fast. Muppets Most Wanted. That was a funny one. Muppets from Space. So funny. Okay. I'm in the photos. Yeah, I'm just thinking of the. No. That's what I'm thinking of. Yes. Which character is this? I love that dude in Muppets in Space. Him and the little rat guy are both perfect. Yeah. Oh, that was a good catch. I'm stoned and I still caught that. I'm proud. The little rat dude and Gonzo. Oh, that ring light so bad. Rizzo. Yes. And what's the other guy? Oh, this joint went out. I started talking and thinking about Muppets, and there goes the joint. That's such a. I might have to watch that movie soon, just because it's legitimately great. I enjoy it so much. Well, almost as much as I enjoy this refreshing galactic margarita from Star Wars. It's not from Star Wars, but hey, give me an excuse to make like a Star Wars commercial. I'll do it. And if it involves margaritas, I'll like 100,000% do it. All right, well, let's relight this thing. What I still want my own sprocket from the Fraggles. That would be great. You watched Dark Crystal, right? We had a big old Dark Crystal conversation on. I think we were. It was the sidetrack where we were trying to like steal each other's things and. Oh yeah, it was me, Aaron, and Jamie. We're all different like CEOs. I think I was Netflix. Aaron was HBO, and Jamie was Prime. Um, you didn't see Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance. If you haven't watched Dark Crystal, I mean, it is. I mean, it's definitely Jim Henson. It's like darker Jim Henson, but still very Jim Henson, like in the core. And it's not like it's darker Jim Henson in the sense like a little bit. It's like Labyrinth in a way, or Willow or something like that. It's kind of in that same vein, but arguably better than either. And Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance, Netflix did a one season show, which won a bunch of freaking Emmys. Well, it's not sci-fi. It's more fantasy, like Lord of the Rings. It's like Lord of the Rings with Muppets, but not like it's not Lord of the Rings. It's very much its own thing, and it's so good. And the Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance is, I think, one of the best miniseries of all time. I think there's Chernobyl, there's A Young Doctor's Notebook, and Where to Find Them, which is uh, John Hamm and Daniel Radcliffe and a couple other people, and then a couple other. But I always tend to hang with that on the line on online crowd. Yeah. Okay, I read that as a separate one. Then I read it all together. That makes sense. Hey, but sci-fi folk are fun. But we're also sci-fi folk like ghosts and things like that. I actually love paranormal stuff too. I don't allow myself to get all into the paranormal stuff because then I'll go wild. Because I'm from 20 minutes from Louisiana. Like I grew up with voodoo stuff. I have little tiny voodoo things like good voodoo, not bad voodoo. Good voodoo dolls like in my house upstairs. Little tiny ones like for keychains and stuff. I love that stuff. Uh, but I'm also just a giant nerd. If the Nerdvenger shirt on my chest at the moment doesn't give that away. See, I like to be a carnivore. I do all this stuff, and I'm I'm fairly athletic, I guess. Generally, I like to be an outdoorsman, but I'm also a giant freaking nerd. If y'all never noticed, surprise. If having Mass Effect and all this stuff over here doesn't point that out. But where's the Shelly? This question's for you. Where's the like the number one place that you'd like to go? I have 31 active paranormal attached items in my bedroom, surrounded by ghosties. Yeah, that's you're always posting on Facebook. I love watching it. It's always just it's intriguing just to look at and just like obviously you're there more often and you understand all that, so you're like you might be able to decipher what something might mean. Who knows? I don't know. I love the possibilities. Um, where if you could go anywhere for like a paranormal kind of thing to like go visit, where would you go? Because I know there's like the old murder hotels. There's a bunch of places in like Louisiana, Florida, in the swampy areas. But there's all kinds of cool like paranormal stuff everywhere. Where would you go? Because I know you're a lot more well versed in that than I am. But I don't know exactly. I I'm intrigued by all that. I'm even intrigued. I don't think I would go. I really don't think I'd go, especially that I'm in like the film industry. Sally House in Athens, in Kansas. Sally House in Athens, in Kansas. Holy, hold up. I might have to Google this. I might not read it right now on stream, but Athens in Kansas. There we go. But that's something to look into. Town Atchison. Yeah, I saw it. I don't know, what's it about though? Now I'm intrigued. Can you give me like a synopsis? Just like a tweet, you know? Nothing long. Uh, but yeah, no, I'm just so intrigued by all that stuff. Like there's so many different places that claim to be haunted, and you know, there's all varying levels of realism and what is realism and what can you is it I don't know. I like the idea of a spirit in the sense of like paranormal where or is it a trans-dimensional being, or is it a little bit of both where like maybe our souls go into a different dimension that cannot be accessed typically in like the third or even the fourth dimension. Maybe we go to the fourth dimension. I don't know. Is it within the realm of physics? Is it within the laws of physics that we know? I I like to ask all these questions and just ponder because there's something there. Who's to say what? I'm definitely not one to say, but that's what questions are here for. And I like to ask them, and I like to hear other people ask them and dive into them and give their versions of things and their explanations and what makes sense to them. I like to hear people's rebuttals, and I like to hear people go kind of back and forth. I don't know. I like it all. It's just like I said, the possibilities just are endless and endlessly intriguing at the same time. Yeah. No, there's the thing I was talking about though, that I don't know if I would go to. Okay, I'll get back to this because this is a different than paranormal, but it's just creepy at the same time. Doctor ran a clinic. Young girl came to have an appendix removed, and he did it without anesthetic. She died, and he turned evil. Both haunted the house, and it's evil. Oh, oh, oh! That went out again. Ooh, ah. I mean, I've had an appendectomy, so I'm just thinking about the feeling, and that without anesthetic, negatory Ghost Rider. No, thank you. Um, yeah, that's pretty bad. And if she dies, and then he just becomes evil, did he keep killing people or anything? I'm gonna have to read honestly. That's that kind of the perfect thing to intrigue me with right there. I had to finish off the can. I'll get OCD and like just get it all in the glass, you know. It's your dream home to investigate. Is it like do they allow people to go in there all the time? Is it like a frequented place, or is it like somewhere you have to get permission and it's kind of like sequestered off or something? Because I know the Conjuring house is an actual place. Both of the first two, at least. I don't know about the third one. Uh, Need to pay and book a night. Okay, okay, okay. So it's like a bed and breakfast or something like that, but like very hyper specific to maybe like the ghost community, or the paranormal community. Interesting. Conjuring House is very little activity now. That would make sense. I mean, it's super old. Like, wouldn't I would guess. Well, that's where like I love the question of what is a spirit. Is it like truly uh like a religious kind of thing, or is it like a transdimensional space that we're just not aware of, that we can't define and realize within the third dimension that we live in, but it is realizable within the laws of physics. We just have to find a way out of like our current state, and sometimes death is that way. I, I don't know. I'm not one to say. Maybe some of these psychedelic things like allow you to like see some of these things for certain amounts of time. There's a lot of infinite like a lot of interesting things, that could be, and that's kind of like that's just good questions to ask. You know, I'm always intrigued. The spirit is soul of someone who passed that didn't cross over. They can see us and hear us and still hold the feelings they had when alive. Yes, 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 yes. But like, and that makes sense. I feel like it's like a definitely like a soul that like has unfinished business and needs to do something and feels like an inclination towards something, whether it be benevolent or malevolent. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to maybe I don't know. My question tends to be I get sciencey and try to ask like what legitimately like is it like a what is the spirit, I guess? What is But then you got to ask the question, like, what is consciousness? And you can get into a whole different realm of conversation there. Because what is consciousness? And what is the consciousness tied to spirit? What happens whenever you die? Do you move on? One maybe stays, one doesn't go transcend to a different dimension. And is that like ascension, in a way, and in like so a religious sense, but also in like a fun Stargate sci-fi sense in a way? Like, who knows? But there's all crazy questions to ask. Spirits and entities are not the same. Okay, yeah, yes, but where do they differentiate, right? Um, no, I don't know. That's where I get hung up on, like, because spirits, entities, I guess like demonic things would be entities as well by technicality, or maybe they do have their own like niche somewhere. I don't know. I I could talk this all day. I love thinking this stuff. Where the last paranormal show I watched was, I mean, it was like a scripted show, like not like a true like following thing. Because if I start watching like people on YouTube going in it, I won't stop. I won't stop. Uh, I need to finish it still. Is Truth Seekers, I think. Did you see Truth Seekers on Prime? I know the answer, but it's too much to type here. You'll have to video chat with me someday and ask away. Yes, yes, I'm so down. Because that's like you see me now. You know, uh, I, I just have so many questions. I don't even know where to start. Uh, but it helps having an expert. Someone who has. Oh, tell me. It was like 32, 33. Can I scroll up? Can I scroll up? Uh, how many things did you have in your house? 31, 32, and 33. I was right above. Oh, and then you typed 31. You knew where I was going. I was close though. I was really close. Uh, no, that makes you an expert in my book. I don't know. I feel so fancy drinking out my little Star Wars glass. It's not fancy at all though. It just looks cool. Uh, but no, yeah. That just that keeps you surrounded in that environment, in like the mindset. So you kind of like quite literally live and breathe it, which is badass. That's the definition of an expert. So yes, no, I'm so down to chat. Because I've got the questions. I've got the questions. And some of these questions intrigue me enough where like I do write. I don't write like a whole bunch, but I have a couple like film ideas and things like that, like just to kind of ask these questions in a more scary slash fun sense sometimes, all kinds of things. It's fun to bring a little creativity to life, and you need to, because quite literally creativity is how we make new things. One of my favorite sayings. Hold up, it's a quote. I got my giant whiteboard here. I got my box of lighters, or my thing of lighters with Rick. Um, there it is. Anything you no, that's not it. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, anything you dream is fiction, and anything you accomplish is science. The whole history of mankind is nothing but science fiction. I love that quote. I want to get it tattooed at some point. That's a long quote, and I don't know exactly where to put that. And I don't want it to look cheesy, and I don't want it to look bad in the future. Because so far I've got one tattoo on a bicep and one tattoo on a forearm, and those aren't gonna like go bad over time, thankfully. Um, I don't think any of the ones I plan will, but we will see, of course. Anyway, love that quote, because science fiction is quite literally life, or where life will go a lot of the times, because we are inspired by art around us, and whether it be books, whether it be films, whether it be television, whatever, comics, anything, or just people in a lab trying to create something cool. Science fiction will always be there for us. It's great. I just want I have to get a small orifice tat for the 50K party. Yes. Hey, I'll get one with you. I'll get a Stargate tattoo. Maybe not the orifice itself, but I'll get something Stargate for sure. Because why not? It's great. In the orifice, it's great. I love. Wasn't it someone that is freak? I think it was a frequent sidetracker. I'm not sure, but someone last time when we were saying orifice was like, "What the hell is going on here?" It was cracking me up. I knew it. I knew it. I keep talking and letting this thing go out. But I just sent a spirit vessel to Steve, who Jamie says he stole me from, and now he's getting activity. Hell yes. Is Steve English too? He's from the UK too, right? Uh, yeah, I subscribed to him. I've only seen a couple of his videos. Like I said, if I watch too many, I'll get right into it. But yeah. Thank you for letting us borrow you from Steve, though. Because all Steves are good people. My dad's name is Steve, so all Steves are good people. Well, all the Steves I've met, at least. North Yorkshire. But no, that's cool. I want to go to the UK so bad. We were talking about it earlier, but I just really want to go to UK. The UK. I want to go to obviously England and Wales, but I want to go to Scotland and Ireland really bad too. Those two places are pretty high on my bucket list. I got to go to Little Irish, you know. It's too much fun. I won't go deep into it. I'll get stoned and just start Irish rambling. But I want to go to Ireland. I want to go to Scotland. I want to go to both England and Wales, but everywhere in Europe, starting with the UK. Just I need an excuse and I need a bunch of cash, and then I'll go in a heartbeat. One day soon. One day soon. Hopefully, I can get into like a good film or something that needs to go over there. That'd be great. I'm going back up to Maine in August, late August, and I kind of want to find a way to stay a week or two because it's just a cool area. I want to just explore the Northeast, and just because I only spent like I think I told y'all, I only count that I've been to New Hampshire because we got a little food, and I bought a couple of things from like the store there, and if we just gotten gas, I would say I've not been to New Hampshire, but we ate a little bit, so I count a little bit as like, yes, I've sort of been to New Hampshire, but I want to explore New Hampshire a little bit. Boston was cool. I want to like really explore Boston because we had like 3 hours before we had to get back to the airport, and then I haven't been to Vermont, and then I haven't been to Rhode Island. I don't know how far that is. It's not that far because they're all small states. I might just have to get a rental car and go for it. I don't know. But I want to explore. Anyway, you're gonna go visit Steve and Jamie. Will come see me there. Yes. Take Jamie goes hunting. That'd be so fun. You'll have to do a video with Jamie. It's a crossover. It's the best of crossover episodes. Steve and Jamie and Steve, Jamie, and Shelly. It's SJS or SSJ or JSS. Either all of the above. Send me the link. I'll be there. I'll watch it in a heartbeat. That'd be great. When are you going over there? Like summer? Well, I guess their seasons are kind of opposite us because opposite hemispheres, huh? SSJ sounds like the name of a spaceship. Yes, it does. I was like, JSS or SSJ sounds like very like Admiral Space Command you know. I like them both. SSJ Steve Shelley Jamie or Shelley Steve Jamie, either one. The Steve Shelley Jamie is the name of the ship, and y'all are flying it right into Ghost Town. And I'm pumped for the episode. Like it's the crossover episode of greatness. Yeah, there's no cross. I'm hoping September, but depends. Yeah, that's a pricey freaking trip. Europe ain't cheap. And I wouldn't have even been to Italy if it wasn't like literally. I think I spent less than $1,000 in Italy because I went with an Italian and was helping her move back to Italy and kind of got a free trip out of it and just helped in the moving process. There you go. My face went out very badly there for a second. There we go. Now I feel more human. Uh, but I probably wouldn't have been to Italy yet or Europe at all if that wasn't like just a very lucky situation. And it wasn't that lucky of a situation because I lost my best neighbor ever, you know. But now I have someone to go visit Italy, and she comes back to LA, so you know, good people. But I just want to go visit Europe. My birth mom just went across like all of South, like a good chunk of South America hiking, and she just did Europe more frequent though. She did South America like a few months back or a year ago or something like that, and she just did like Spain, Portugal, and somewhere else. It's like a very like famous route or something, and she did it for like 10, 12 days, and I'm like, yep, this is my blood. Yep, makes sense. Well, that's smart, Shelly. Now I'll read it out loud just so people. Shelly cheats though because she travels with people when she has. I was trying to make that make sense. I'm just gonna read it. I cheat though because I don't travel unless I have people to stay with. I won't pay for hotels. Smart as hell though. That means you get to like obviously connect with people you know more across the world. You get to like strengthen your friendships more. It's that's the best way to do it. When people have places to stay, that's the best thing to do. Um, I love that. That's what I do a lot too. Obviously I'll go in a hotel too if I need to, but just travel's good for the soul and yeah, a lot of people everywhere. That's the way to do it. Networking and just living life. It's the best thing to do. Just knowing people can get you so many places and do so many good things. I I love it. Uh, yeah, it's I can I, I guess this is the Mary Jane channel, so I can say it. I always know somebody in any state in the U.S. that can get you a little ganji, which is just always cracks me up because I always know someone somewhere, you know. And I'm notorious for if you text me, I can find somebody for you. That was back in the day. Though. I don't know if I can do that anymore, but it was always fun. Uh, yeah, but yeah, networking is the best thing in the world, and not networking in like business sense, but just literally knowing people because people are good to know. You know, it makes me think of them. Have you ever seen the movie Into the Wild? It's with I know the actor. Um, yes, it's one of my favorite movies. I adore the movie. I have the book. I have the short story printed out and laminated upstairs. I freaking love that movie. I almost said Alden Ehrenreich. It's not him. It's the guy that did Guy in His Bus in Alaska. Yeah. Um, Emil Hirsch. That's the guy's name that plays him. And Kirsten Stewart's in there. Kristen Stewart, not Kirsten. Kristen Stewart. I'm still. Oops. Uh, I think it's Kristen Stewart's probably one of her best films too. She's only in it for like a good chunk, like a small chunk, but a decent chunk. But she's really good in it, and I feel like it's one that she shows much more emotion than she typically does. I think that one and then Underwater are two of her most underrated films, and I don't understand why Underwater is not as well rated of a film. It's a little bleak, of course, but that's the content, and that's the subject matter. You know, I don't know what to tell you there. Into the Wild though is anything but bleak. It does become very sad, but it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I love the Slab City kind of aspect of it. The just the leather tramping and the rubber tramping across. Alex McCandless. That's one of my favorite stories. That's one of my all time favorite stories. My eyes look fucked up. Yeah, at this point, yeah, my eyes get rid of shit. I should probably look into there. I can't look at myself though if I do that. That's not too bad. I always carry some rotos near me though. Uh, but a joint will do that, and we've been hitting for 55 minutes. Damn. Uh, and the margarita I've been sipping on that one's taking me a little slow, but that's all right. That's all right. It's the weekend. I'm not going anywhere. Like I said, it's I'm chilling tonight just because I gotta host a performance tomorrow. Not really host. I don't have to do all that much. I'm producing it, so I'm there. But it's gonna be fun. I love the show, and so far it's been great. So we're gonna have a full house tomorrow, and it's gonna be a good time. It's only like 45 minutes, so I it's great. But it's a really good show. Margarita's hitting me. Uh, but yeah, damn, we're going 56 minutes as of right now. I might call it a night here because we're gonna do this again tomorrow because tomorrow's Saturday, so we're gonna do a smoke stream on Saturday. Saturday Jays, of course, but I think I'm gonna call these smoke streams just to keep it simple. But yeah, if you're just joining or you need some homework, go watch Into the Wild. And if you've already seen it, of course, like you and I have, shall we might as well watch it again because Into the Wild's great. That's all I've got for today. Time flies for me when we talk paranormal Muppets. Damn right, like the Muppets are great. And watch Dark Crystal. I know it's a little different, but I promise you'll love it. Dark Crystal is. I mean, the original movie is great. The '80s movie is great, but Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, I think, is quite legitimately one of the best miniseries ever made. It's up there with Chernobyl. It's up there with one of my favorites. I think is a Doctor's Notebook, a young Doctor's Notebook. There's a few others I could name them, but Dark Crystal you should 100% watch. And everybody else, if you haven't seen Dark Crystal, watch it. But Enter the Wild as well, fantastic. Might not find it on service that's offered here. Yeah, VPN maybe. I don't know. VPNs are great for that. Pretend you're in the US or like the UK or something. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. This light's so bad. I'm gonna have to. I don't know why this lighting just has gotten worse and worse over time. We're gonna figure it out one day. We will. But that's all I got. Uh, good night, y'all. I'll do the spiel tomorrow. Adios.